Okay, so I know I promised everyone a video of the adventures of going to get or taking my son in his car and getting a puppy. She's so cute. She's actually perfect. She is. She's fucking smart. The other two do not love her. This one is not for it. So, interesting. Cats are like, whatever. Anyway, this isn't supposed to be a video about that, so. Okay, she wasn't in the video. There she is. Being cute. He stole that from her. Alright, so Anthony and I set out on our adventure Wednesday morning. Got a little late start. All week we've been getting active notifications about this snowstorm called Olive. And I was just like, oh my god, this is my nightmare. Because we had bought super cheap tickets through Delta that were non-refundable. And also, we had to drive this car that we've driven for the last couple weeks, but we ain't driven, like, across country. Just didn't know how anything was going to go. And so when we got going, we headed down to, went the Portland way instead of Snoqualmie because of, just Snoqualmie looked like trash. And Portland looked a little, or not Portland, but Vancouver, Washington looked a little more better. And so we got going, and it was already snowing on the coast, and we were just like, oh shit, like this isn't even Olive, this is just like another fucking snowstorm. And we got going, and of course it was gorgeous, and I was loving it, and I drove first because I just always drive first. And it looked like we were gonna, be getting there by like 4 a.m., but with time change it would have been 5 a.m. And I was like, that's not too bad. And then everything just started happening, right? Like another storm hit. We drove through that, white knuckling it, 30 miles per hour through the mountains. We finally got to Idaho, and Idaho just ate us alive. Just fucking everything you could think of happened. We were fixing and clearing time. Like every time we'd stop, we'd make up the time, and it was, we'd just keep making up time, and only little minutes would be passing by. You making a debut? That's cute. She's just so cute. And yes, she's on the couch. And I'm sure that's not making him very happy at all, because that's all he ever wants is to sit on the couch next to me. I'm working on that thought. I think I'm going to get me a couch cover. But that's not what we're talking about. So anyway, we get to, it's nighttime, and everything gets worse at night, right? You can't see as far. Well, we find out that the car must have had regular windshield wiper fluid in it, because then we would try to clean the windows and it would freeze immediately, like instant frozen, couldn't see shit. And so we'd have to pull over and start and clean the windows, and then we bought some defreeze, windshield wiper stuff, and that was great. That it worked until we hit 7-degree weather, and then after that nothing worked. 12-degree weather, nothing worked. 15-degree weather, nothing worked. It was decided, that was going to be our fucking, what's the word I want? Thorn in our side. Yeah, that was it. I'm sorry, I had to show you that. Mind you, this car was doing so much space, we were able to bring the rest of Carly's stuff that she wanted out of her room. It was fun. You know what me and Anthony realized too, is that this is the very first time we have went alone on a car ride trip together. Since we've been together. Since we had Carly, obviously. That is wild. It's been over 20 years of us, we've not taken a road trip together by ourselves. When I realized that, I was kind of scared. I was like, oh my god, we're going to kill each other or something. But we didn't. We had so much fun. Would have been funner without the white knuckling. over 85% of the time. I think we only had sunshine and decent roads. Honestly, maybe 2 hours. Maybe 2 hours. It was rough. It was so fucking rough. Okay, anyway. So we hit Idaho. And we got stuck behind a wreck. And I think we didn't know a lot about what happened. It took us about 15 minutes to 30 minutes to figure out what happened because we're not from there, so we didn't know where to search for what's going on. And come to find out, it was a jackknife trailer because the roads were fucking icy, like black ice, can't see it. People were driving like idiots, like they were on the movie, on that show, truck or ice truck drivers, or whatever that fucking show is. Ice truckers, I don't know, ice road truckers. Anyway, and so we didn't know that's exactly what happened, but we were in full stop traffic on the interstate, and then we started looking like our options and this and that, and you know, this was a real stop, and we were there for almost 2 hours, and oh my god. And so we found out there was a jackknife truck, and it was about, like, on our map of how red the road was, which was like 2 hands, it was right this far from us, but cars were back, after an hour, cars were backing out and just turning around because there was no news of when it was going to be moved, or how it was going to be moved. So me and Anthony had a picnic in the car, and that was kind of fun, and then we did this Q&A question thing that Anthony got for military spouses and their families, and that was very eye-opening and interesting, but it kept the time passing. And I just watched time, kept tick-tocking away, and it went from, we're going to be there at 8 o'clock, nope, we're going to be there at 9 o'clock, and it just kept tick-tocking away with the roads, and finally they got the jackknife moved. Well, roads were, because no one had been driving on the road for over 2 hours, no snow plows, no nothing. The road was so scary on the other side, and I was like, this isn't worth it. Like, we have to make it there alive. That's the goal. So we pulled over at one of the first decent gas stations we saw, and mind you, everyone was pulling off everywhere. Like, everyone after this was like, I'm done. Like, the roads are terrible. And we get over there, and we look at the map, and we learned that all of Wyoming is closed down. All of Utah is closed down. Like, all these places we are about to go into are closed down. Like, their highways are black. Means no one's moving, or they're closed for real. Like, they're not allowing anyone on. And I'm just like, what? There's no way to get to our kids. There's no way. Do we drop all the way down to Arizona, shoot back up? Like, what are the options right now? Drop all the way to Las Vegas? Like, what we didn't have a clue. We didn't know what to do. So we spent almost 45 minutes sitting there at this gas station trying to figure out these roads, asking questions, looking online, searching for the correct thing we should do. And of course, we're getting frustrated. We're getting tired. You know, I told Anthony to sleep, but it's hard to sleep when you're in a snowstorm, or when it's just dangerous. So, you know, he did take over for a little bit, but he wasn't rested. Like, he was stressed. And so, like, that made me stressed. So I don't think I was going to go to sleep and take a nap while he's driving. Then we talked about sleeping in the car at that gas station. And I've never imagined sleeping with the car on. It was literally, I think it was like 7 degrees at that time outside. Felt like -3, I think. I don't even know. And I'm like, we can't leave the car running the whole time. Like, that's crazy. We've never done that. You know, we turn it off, turn it back on. But 7 degrees, we're not going to last but 5 minutes, and the car's going to be frozen. Plus, we can't turn the car off. Everything's going to be frozen. Like, it was just so many things were going through our fucking head. And most simply was, how are we getting on the other side to Colorado? Literally on the other side of Colorado. So we ended up deciding to drop down to I-70 because it opened up in the morning at 7 a.m. And by now it was just like, I think it was 2:30 in the morning. Just think about it. We were supposed to be there in 2 hours. That's how much time had been spent trying to figure everything out. And so I think that we already hit the time change too, so maybe it was actually 3 hours. But man, I'm just like, what is happening right now? This is literally my nightmare. You know, we are on such a short, we had to get there. My goal was to get there Thursday morning, spend the whole day with the kids, get everything set up, because they've been going through a lot, and they've been needing someone to come. Like, both of them were like, I can't wait to see you, Mom. I can't wait to see you, Dad. So we had plans to really, like, help them out. And Anthony, you know, with him deploying soon and all that stuff, we just really needed that time with them. and we were losing all the time, and the stress. So Anthony drove us down to Utah or something like that, and I slept. I had to. I was fucking done. Salt Lake City, Utah. Sorry, obviously Utah. And then when I woke up, it went to I was going to take us through I-70 during the sunshine, and so it was beautiful. It was so beautiful when we got down there. The mountains are gorgeous, like, it's just unreal. And once I got going, it was like we were moving. Like, it was so great. You know, there's a couple of moments, but the temperature was still no. The temperatures were so fucking cold that the window kept freezing over, which was our nightmare. Again, this thing just would not... We couldn't keep the windows clean. Could not keep them clean. It was terrible. Well, sure enough, Anthony, was falling asleep, and tell me why a trucker, went around me and pulled around, which was fine. Like, I'm chilling. And he threw up some stuff in my window, and it was like dirt. And the sun was shining, like, straight into our window. And the windshield wipers wouldn't work because it was like, I think it was like 12 degrees or something. And I was like, I couldn't see. And we were on one of those 2-lane highways where, like, but it was windy through the mountains, through the Rockies. And I was so scared. I like, Anthony, wake up. I can't see. And so, he, of course, is sleeping, dead asleep. And I just gave him a fucking heart attack. So in the moment, it was so scary. Later, we laughed about it because it was just like, it could have been literally life and death. We could have died. Like, a semi could have hit us head on because I literally could not see at all. And so he rolled his window down. I tried to pull over. So he wakes up and is like panicking, rolls the window down. He's like, I was trying to pull over, and there's nowhere to pull over because there's snow-banked highway. Like, there's no space at this spot. And it was on a curve, and I was just like, oh my God, this is literally it. This is my nightmare. I'm like dying. And I'm not literally going to die, but like, I could die, right? Like, I'm not in control of everyone around me. And there's trucks coming up behind me. There's trucks coming around me. And I'm trying to scoot the car over as far as I can. And Anthony's like, you can't, like, because there's literally a ravine next to us. You can't scoot over anymore. And I'm like, I don't know. It was fucking psycho. But we got pulled over. Found a little nook. And Anthony got out of the car, and there was no trucks for a minute, and he, like, ran. He, like, rubbed my window really quick as possible, and I, like, started freaking out because I saw a truck coming. I said, get in the car right now. Please get in the car right now. And he's like, honey, I'm on this side. And I'm like, if they hit the car, I don't want you outside of it. I want you in the car with me so we can slide together versus me hitting you, running you over. Like, my brain. After this moment happened, Anthony, I'm pretty sure, had a heart attack. I did too. I was trying to be calm, but, like, I needed his help ASAP. Like, it was not a joke. Then we got on the road. Got heading down the road, and it was beautiful weather, thank gosh. And we just went through the Rockies. Everything was gorgeous. Of course, he couldn't sleep now, right? Because I just gave him the worst heart attack of his life. It was like a jump scare. It was like, I mean, if you just really put yourself there, like, you're sleeping, your wife starts screaming your name, and I can't see, and you're on the interstate, and you hear, like, horns behind you because the trucks are freaking out for you, and it's just so much fun. Anyway, so don't recommend that. Make sure you have antifreeze, windshield wiper stuff in there before you get on the road. But this was the worst of our situation for this car, so if that's it, we got our son a good car. And at this point, it says we'll get there at 4 p.m. So we are just sucking at life. We're going through the Rockies. It is beautiful, but we still are going slow because it's windy. And time just keeps tick-tick-tocking. Like, it's crazy. You're not in control. You think you're going fast, but you're not. Everything, like, slows you down. But once daylight came, it was much more, calmer, except for that one part. Everything else went well. And we got to the kids, and I don't even know if I had time to decompress. Like, I was just like, we have to keep moving. Everything has to keep going. But, yeah. That was our get our son in his car across country. It was so wild. And just so many moments. And we laughed about it a lot after. It took a couple days, but we've been laughing. And can we just discuss how you can't get from the East Coast to the West Coast almost? Like, especially, or at least not on the north end, north, because all roads were blocked. Like, that's so scary. I was so freaked that I wasn't going to get to my kids. Like, what do? Turn around? We're like, 7 hours in. Do we turn around? I don't understand what to do. What do we do? My brain could not wrap around that. I was just like, there's got to be a way. Thank gosh for I-70. We've never actually used it before. I've never been on that side, except for when we used to come through, my mom, when I was a kid. But I'd never been to the Rockies on I-70 going east. So learned a lot about that place. Very beautiful, by the way. I do recommend that. It's a gorgeous walk, get through. They keep the road pretty nice. But yeah, could you imagine, like, just trying to get to your kids? You're just trying to get to your fucking kids. Ah!